I can absolutely blame white supremacy. The country has never fulfilled its promises of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. It's always been freedom, liberty, and justice for some. And usually that some is white people.
A nation that aspires to ideals that's not made up of gods, but made up of human beings, will always fall short of those ideals.
Are you going to keep on blaming someone else for your own demise? When does it stop?
Stop giving your money to woke corporations that hate you and your values. That's why I order all my men's shaving products from Jeremy Razors. Order your Precision 5 starter set today. This set comes with 4 razor blades, sharp as true, with tungsten handle and flip back trimmer. You're not in the market for razors? Jeremy Razors also has other facial products fit just for men. So you don't have to stock your bathroom with products that clean your body but stains your conscience. So shut up and shave. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use cburns15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code cburns15 to save 15% off.
Now, this first take is Charlamagne the God saying something about, hey, America has failed Black people. And we'll look at that. And I'm going to interject because I don't want to get a copyright strike or anything like that or demonetized.
That's a problem. So I think we have a crisis of national pride.
Whose fault is that, though? That's America's fault. That's the system's fault for constantly failing the people.
Well, you know, I see it. I see it less about. We can allocate the blame. We can talk about allocating the blame. I think there's blame to go around. I think it's up to all of us to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what is that vacuum in our heart? It's an old saying that goes, if there's a hole the size of God in your heart and God does not fill it, something else will instead. I think the same applies for belief in a nation as well. So I think what's going on is we're human beings. What makes us different from animals is that we can believe. We need to believe in something bigger than ourselves. And when we lose God and family and country, we start believing in new false gods instead.
And now I want to get you up to speed. Vivek Ramaswamy mentioned that children or young adults today will rather give up their voting rights than give up TikTok and Facebook or whatever. And it's like they lost faith in this country. And Charlamagne replies, oh, that's just America's fault. So that's where this is coming from.
That's what's going on in the country. And so I don't know that it's so much a question of fault, but more a question of how do we actually revive our sense of self-confidence and pride.
It's definitely a question of fault. I can absolutely blame white supremacy, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
See, say more, and then I'll respond to that.
I mean, just look at the history of the country. Like, it's really just that simple for me. The country has never fulfilled its promises of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. It's always been freedom, liberty, and justice for some. And usually that some is white people.
So here's what I would say in response to that. That is obviously true that the nation has fallen short of our promise since our founding. But walk through some obvious facts about America. We're not founded on an ethnicity or a monarch or a food or even a religion. We're founded on a set of ideals that brought a group of people together in 1776, and we live by those ideals. At least we aspire to those ideals today. A nation that aspires to ideals that's not made up of gods, but made up of human beings, will always fall short of those ideals. So I think our worst hypocrisies as a country, and we have many of them, our worst hypocrisies are our best evidence that we have ideals at all. You take a look at other countries. Nobody ever calls the Chinese Communist Party a hypocrite, or China a hypocrite, or Iran a hypocrite. Why is that? Because to be a hypocrite, you at least had to have ideals in the first.
So people that cries white supremacy on media, I find it that they're the ones that's like uber successful. And these are black people. The black people that cries white supremacy or a liberty and justice for all, fair, equal treatment. They're saying that, no, there is no fair, equal treatment. But those are the ones that like in the top 0.1% of earners. I think he was a bestseller writer, Charlamagne, on the New York Times. He had a best-selling book, authored 2 books, and they were all bestsellers, you know? So, and he's saying that, oh, white supremacy exists and it's not equal justice for all. I'm not the norm. And it's like really crazy that you really think that. Charlamagne is actually a co-founder of the Heart Network, iHeart Media. He's named as one of the co-founders or co-chairs. He makes over $3 million a year just off of the Breakfast Club. That's his deal. He got a five-year contract. He makes $3 million a year. he has a net worth of 27 million. You know, so it's like, okay, you're saying that this white supremacy failed us, but when does it not be white supremacy fault? When is it our own? When is it like, oh, we need to take the charge and lead our own destiny? Are we going to blame the government for everything? Okay. And we're saying the government failed us, but the government is not your mama or daddy. You could be mad. You could be mad at your mama and daddy for a long time because your mama and daddy failed you. But after your mama and daddy, after 18, maybe 21, maybe you'll hold that grudge to 25. What are you doing for yourself and your people? Are you going to keep on blaming someone else for your own demise? When does it stop? You know, when do you stop blaming someone else for your problems? Or since I'm talking about the Black community, our problems. When are you going to stop doing that? And so, yeah, ministry before industry, America's fault. Yes, in the past. And that's exactly what I want to hit home. Yes, it was America's fault. We didn't get our 40 acres in the mule, okay? We wasn't going to get in anyway. That was our ancestors were supposed to get that. If you're from, if you actually was a descendant of slaves, you know, and it was a lot of atrocities throughout American history. But when are you going to say, hey, I lead the charge. This is my problem. This is something I have to fix, or even not fix, you know, something I have to get better in. When are we going to say that? Instead of saying, oh, white supremacy is holding us back at every single turn. I just hate that narrative, and we need to get out of that, because we're going to end up the same spot. We're going to look up 40 years from now, and we're going to be in the same shithole that we're in right now. We got to learn to stop doing that. You know, the government is not your mama and daddy. They don't owe you shit. I'm sorry. And we don't take the vaccine, and I'm talking about Black people. We got so much distrust for the government. Why would you think the government would save you? I just don't understand that. Like yesterday, I did mention, you know, they took the affirmative action. You can no longer use race in determination of getting qualified for college or admitted for college. And I mentioned Harvard University. They have a Black woman president over Harvard. Harvard University, the prestigious school of America, probably in one of the world. And we're saying white supremacy is holding us back at every single turn. That doesn't make sense to me. So, but Charlamagne the God in the news media and all these Black news personalities want you to think that, oh, white supremacy is holding you back. And why do they do that? Because that's who they pay them to do that. You got to have some type of narrative to keep you watching and say, oh yeah, I agree with you, because I agree with victimization. I'm a victim. And when are we going to stop that? And because Charlamagne, he's going to go to his big ass house making $3 million a year. I don't know nobody that make $3 million a year. I mean, I met a couple of people that's doing well, but a Black man making $3 million a year? I don't know nobody doing that. You know, you got to be something special to do that. So, but he's telling you, no, white supremacy is holding you down. But he makes $3 million a year. I don't understand that. And we're sitting there listening. Oh yeah, white supremacy. It's just totally ridiculous. But Vivek Ramaswamy, he had a good response to that. So, and Charlamagne, I think he conceded. He wants to change the system, but you just got to stop with this white supremacy stuff. And in the system, like I said, the system is the government. The system is not going to save you. You got to save yourself. Create your own system. We as Black people, we could create our own system, and we have the dollar. We have the dollar to create our own system, but we need to spend our dollar where it counts. We can't just say, create a new system, blah, 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 and keep on buying stuff like Jordans or Cadillac trucks, you know, stuff that depreciate. And I'm laughing because I was just looking at a Cadillac truck and I was like, no, my husband was like, no, you're not going to drive that big old truck. But like I said, we need to invest in things that will really count to actually build up our system.